Hey, what is up mortals? It is TCCrew here with a new video for you. Welcome to part 1 of What If Deku Had a Copy Quirk. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying, sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. So, we begin. That stupid nerd doesn't have his quirk yet. The 5-year-old Katsuki Bakugo laughed as the 4 boys walked through the forest, letting small explosions crackle across his fingers as he led the way. You're so weak, Deku. That's okay, Kachan. The small green-haired boy called from behind the group, struggling to keep up as he carried all their bug nets. Izuku Midoriya just smiled. I'm sure I'll get one soon, and it'll be as cool as yours. Yeah, right. Katsuki laughed. Nobody's quirk is as cool as mine. You're right. Izuku giggled. It always glows the brightest. Haha, Deku is saying weird stuff again. The other 2 boys laughed, one flapping his small wings as the other extended his fingers. You'll never get a quirk at this rate. I will too, Izuku said back, still smiling. It's just taking so long because it's gonna be extra awesome. Yeah, right. The blonde boy laughed as he and the other 2 boys left Izuku far behind. The green-haired boy looked upset as he stopped and turned back to find his mother. As he walked outside of the forest entrance, Izuku saw his mother there waiting for him. What's the matter, sweetie? Izuku's mother asked, worried about what happened. Can we go home? Izuku said with a small tear falling down his cheek. Once they got home, the green-haired boy sat on a chair with his All Might figure. Hey, Mom, what do you think my quirk is going to be? Izuku asked as he sat there playing with a small toy All Might. Do you think it will be like yours or Dad's? Oh, I don't know, Izuku. Inko laughed as she looked at her son, his face screwed up in intense concentration. Maybe it'll be a combination of both. Maybe you could pull fire towards you, maybe even control it. That would be cool. Izuku muttered, looking up at the woman. Hey, Mom, how does your quirk work? Oh, you know what my quirk is, Izuku. I can pull small objects towards myself, she replied. No, I know what your quirk is, Izuku said firmly. I want to know how it works. Oh, Inko blinked, turning to her son. Oh, well, the easiest way I can describe it is, it's like I can make a web between my fingers and latch onto the nearest smallest object. Then I can just pull it towards me. Like a web. The child muttered, pursing his lips as he held out his hand, flexing his fingers slightly, making Inko chuckle as she turned back to the food she was prepping, and froze. The knife was floating. It was slowly floating through the air off the counter, or more accurately, it was being pulled through the air in small bursts, in the same way that her quirk did. She turned back to her son, seeing him imitate her hand movements she used to help focus her quirk. His eyes wide as an excited smile spread across his face. Mom, I have a quirk. It's just like yours. My hands are glowing just like yours. The boy shouted, losing concentration as he jumped up. The knife clattered on the floor as Inko scooped him up in her arms. Yes, you do. Inko sobbed, hugging her son close to her chest. You have a quirk just like Mom's. On the next day at school, Bakugo and Midoriya met up at the park to play. Hey, Kachan, how does your quirk work? Inko watched as Izuku ran into the park toward his friends. A blonde woman sat beside her. So you got your telekinesis thing, huh? The blonde woman laughed, patting Inko on the shoulder. Congratulations, it'll be a hell of a lot easier for you to adjust than it was for me. My brat won't stop trying to blow up anything he can get his little grubby hands on. Thank you, Mitsuki. Inko sighed, watching as Izuku was waving his arms excitedly, gesturing his hands at Katsuki scowling at him. I'm sure it will. Her words were cut off by a loud explosion. A cloud of smoke erupted from between the 2 boys. God damn it, Katsuki! Mitsuki yelled as she jumped to her feet, yanking a water bottle from her bag as she sprinted towards the 2 boys. I told you to be careful with your quirk. I didn't do anything! The young blonde boy shouted as he sat stunned on the ground. It was Deku, his hands blew up like mine. What? Inko gasped as she caught up, staring at her son as he curled up on the floor, clutching his hands to his stomach. The worried mother immediately dropped to her knees in front of him. Izuku, sweetie, I need to see your hands to make sure you're not hurt. It was too big. The boy sniffled as he let her pull his hands out, turning them palm up, gasping at the sight. Red, burnt, and blistered skin met her gaze like her son had tried to hold onto a firework when it went off. Izuku, how? Mitsuki pulled out a bottle of burnt cream from her pocket, helping Inko slather it onto his scorched palms as he whispered. Katsuki stepped away as he stared at Izuku, a look of shock on his face. I just made the light look like Kachan's. Izuku managed between his sobs as, I did with your quirk, but it was so big, it hurts. Light! Mitsuki blinked, turning to look at her son. What light, brat? How should I know? Katsuki yelled back. That weirdo always going on about the people glowing and kept asking how my quirk worked. Then he used it. Used it? Use what? She barked back, making the child scowl at her. My quirk! The blonde boy shouted, causing people to stare. He used my freaking quirk! Sweetie, I think it's time to go to the doctor's. Inko worried for her child and decided to take the green-haired boy to the doctor's. Hello, my name is Kimoyona Isha, the young man said, sitting at the small desk in the corner of the tiny office. Sorry for the small office. I don't get many cases for my specialty. That's quite all right. I just want to know what happened to my son. The worried mom explained while trying not to panic. Well, your son doesn't have any normal quirk, the doctor said while scribbling something in his notebook. What do you mean, not normal? The woman, now becoming even more stressed with what the doctor just had said. What I'm trying to say is that his quirk is very rare. So rare, in fact, that I only have seen 3. Kim Yona explained as Izuku stared at the man with a confused look. His quirk is a copy quirk. Some say they are even more rare than healing quirks. Why aren't you glowing? Where is your light? Izuku asked, very confused about what happened to the glow. Glow? The doctor said, confusingly. Oh, you mean my quirk? I don't have one. I'm quirkless. Surprised, the young boy just sat there, speechless. Well, I'll just take Izuku for a sec, if that's okay, Miss Midoriya. Kimyona said as he started writing in his notebook again. Yes, it's perfectly fine with me. The worried mother tried to keep her cool as the doctor and the young boy walked off into a nearby room. 15 minutes had passed before they arrived back. Izuku and the doctor walked back into the tiny office as the doctor has a smile on his face. The worried mother stared. Well, I know what that little man's quirk is. Please, tell us what it is. The worried mother started to panic. Well, there is no need to panic. Secondly, the boy's quirk is called mimicry. He can copy quirks by knowing how they work. However, he can take damage from the quirk if he doesn't know how to use it properly, just like what happened earlier today, right? The doctor asked, still with a smile. The mother slowly calmed down. Yes, that is what happened. The boy was very confused. But what about the light? Oh, yes, that is just a part of your quirk. You can just see who has a quirk that you are able to copy. But he can only use one at a time, but he can switch as long as he remembers how they work, the man said while he signed his notebook. Well, I think that's it for today. Stay back, Deku, you freak! 6-year-old Katsuki shouted as he and the 2 others ran across the playground. The green-haired boy tried following. What's wrong, Kachan? I just wanted to play heroes, the child said while noticing all the stares at him. Yeah, right, you'll just end up stealing our quirks! Katsuki yelled at the boy, making sure to keep at least 6 feet from Izuku. You're a monster with freak's quirk! No, I'm not! Izuku shouted back with tears streaming down his face and landing on the floor. My doctor said it was cool. You're just scared. Kachan is being a coward. I'm not scared. Katsuki started running towards the green-haired boy. I'm not scared of anything, especially not a freak like you! Sparks started to leave the blonde's hands. He leaped on top of Izuku, causing them both to crash to the floor. One punch after another hitting the green-haired boy in the face. Izuku's head started ringing as he cowered under his arms. Kachan, he faintly said before he started losing consciousness. You coward! Izuku let out one big explosion, sending Bakugo flying. The green-haired boy's hands started to burn and sprain. Ah! The blonde boy got blasted into one of the teachers who ran out to see what happened. What happened? A teddy bear-looking teacher ran towards Izuku to seem unconscious and with a burnt hand. Quick, we need an ambulance! Several hours had passed since Deku had to fight. Izuku woke up to see his mother crying and his doctor in the corner of the room. Hello, Mom? The boy said all he could come out with. My baby! The worried and crying mother jumped up and hugged Izuku. Kimyona slowly walked closer to the boy laying on the hospital bed. I heard you had a fight in kindergarten. I hope you're okay. Kachan is a coward, the boy said with a look of rage in his eyes. Well, that's a bit mean, but I can guess what happened. Izuku looked at the man with confusion. What do you mean, doctor? Inko finally stopped crying. Well, I'm guessing this Kachan bullied you for having a copy quirk. The doctor pulled out his notebook and pen ready to write the boy's response. Yeah, but how did you know? Izuku said, trying to hold back his tears. Kimyona stared at the green-haired boy. Simply every other case I have had, they have all had that same problem. Come on, sweetie, let's get you home. Inko and her son get to the entrance of the hospital with the doctor. Oh, welcome, Nato. Thank you for coming in today. Izuku looked at the two people that walked in, both with blonde hair and a similar glow to each other. He could tell they were related. Nato said he was very excited to meet the new person you were talking about. Oh, is that him? The blonde woman said as she looked at Izuku and his mother. The green-haired boy slowly walked over to Nato. Stay away! I don't want to steal your quirk! The blonde boy shouted as he hid behind his mother's legs. Don't worry, you won't steal anyone's quirk. You just copy it. The woman tried to reassure Monoma. I'm sorry about that, miss. Just call me Inko, the green-haired woman said. Well, I'm Kin Batsumona. My son has a copy quirk, so he gets bullied for it. The blonde woman said, helping the boy out from behind her. That's why he hides from people. Hi, I'm Izuku Midoriya. The green-haired boy reached his hand out to the other boy. What's your name? Nato reached his hand and grabbed Izuku's. I'm Nato. Are you a friend? Izuku nodded with a big smile. The blonde boy looked at his mom. I have a friend. Both Nato and his mother cry. You did it! You finally have a friend! And that's exactly why I wanted you to meet. No one wanted to be his friend. I heard Izuku hasn't had friends. The doctor turned to Inko. I thought they could help each other. Inko started to break down as she realized that the green-haired boy finally has someone. Has a friend. Thank you all for sticking around, and I hope that you enjoyed. Before you leave, we would just like to let you know that We the Celestials has many other channels for your entertainment and viewing purposes. All the information you'll need is right below here in the description, so feel free to check out all the other incredible projects our team creates. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. That's all for today's video. So goodbye, and have a divine day.